Hi everyone, my name's Daryl. So I'm the proud owner of this beautiful 2012 Nissan GTR that you see behind me. And regrettably, I'm getting ready to sell this car. And so I've been doing a lot of research on the best ways of selling a relatively expensive used car. And after all the research, I figured, hey, why not create some videos on this to try to help other folks out? And so that's what I'm doing today. So there are a number of different options for selling your car. Now, of course, if you're going to buy a new car, one of the things that you might want to consider is just trading it in. It's really simple to do. There are some tax benefits often because when you sell your car to a dealer, often you only pay taxes for the differences between the two. You could also, if you choose not to do this, you could also use services like CarMax, Carvana, those kinds of things to actually sell your car online. Now, I tried to do that with my GTR, and there just wasn't enough vehicles out there for them to give me an estimate. And so they wanted to have me bring my car in before they would actually give me an estimate. Now, I did get another estimate from another online retailer. It was kbb.com. And I want to sell my car for $55,000. And they offered me $30,000. So there was quite a bit of difference. Now, you could also go directly to a dealer. So that's another option, is just to take it to multiple dealers. I actually did that when I was selling my Honda Accord, and that actually worked out pretty good. Now, another option is consignment, and consignment is actually kind of sort of new. So the way consignment works is you work with a company, usually it's a dealer, a lot of times it's a smaller dealer, and basically you let them do the work. So they'll market your car, they will show it to people, buyers that are interested in your car. They will actually sell the car, so they'll do all the paperwork, and then they just basically take a piece of the percentage. And so, yeah, that's another interesting way of doing it. But ultimately, if you really want to get the best amount of money for your car, you're probably better off doing the selling yourself and offer it up as a private vehicle. Now, there are some risks with selling the car yourself, and it's a good amount of legwork, right? So you've got to list it, you've got to get the car prepared, you've got to meet with buyers, you got to do test drives, you got to do the paperwork, you got to accept the payment. Yeah, so there's a little bit to it. And luckily I'm retired, so I have a little bit of time on my hands and I don't mind. But I really wanted to get the best price. And the other thing is, especially if you have a kind of a rare car, an expensive car like my GTR, it's just not that dealers or regular kind of online sellers of cars really understand the value of this car, especially like mine, because, and I'm sure everybody thinks about their car like, well, my car is worth more than that. But with my GTR, it's a single owner car and it's stock. Now, of course, as usual with me, I've done a lot of research into the process, kind of what are the best practices for privately selling your car. And basically, I'm gonna kind of outline the steps in this video, but at a very high level. So I'm not gonna get into the details. What I am gonna do is I've basically come up with 5 steps for you to sell your car privately. And I'm gonna talk about those, but I'm actually gonna have a video on each one of these steps to go a little bit more in depth into what you really need to do. So the first step is preparing your car to get sold. This is where you're going to want to make any minor repairs to your car, so that way, you don't have simple things that are wrong with the car that are pretty easy to repair. You also want to make sure it's cleaned inside and out, and potentially get it detailed, because that usually doesn't cost very much. And lastly, you want to gather all your records for maintenance, because you really want to show the buyer that you took care of the car and that you have all the service records. Now, the second step is advertising your car. So there are multiple sites that do this. Usually they cost a little bit of money. As part of this, you're gonna wanna take a lot of pictures of the car, but it's basically getting your car out there so people know about it. So our next step, after we've marketed the car, hopefully we get some people that are interested. They'll give you a call or they'll give you an email. And so it's basically answering questions and setting up the test drives. So our fourth step is actually meeting with the potential buyer and having them do a test drive. Now, this is where things can get a little bit risky, right? So you're kind of meeting a stranger. And so I do have some strategies for kind of negating this risk. And so, yeah, you're gonna wanna watch that video for sure. So after the test drive, well, hopefully you get a couple offers. So then it's negotiating the offer or accepting it, receiving payment, doing the necessary paperwork, and then handing over the keys. So if you're ready to sell your car, let's get started. My next video will cover preparing your car to be sold. And I hope to see you in this next video. If you learned something, please like it and also consider subscribing to my channel. And I hope to see you in the next one again very soon.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.